Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mystical Awakenings with Deb and Arjay.
Hi, everybody.
So happy to be here on KGRA. Not only can we get connected here, but we can stay connected. We love it. We love it.
How are you tonight?
I'm pretty darn good. You know, we're like days away from
The holiday.
Yep. Hello, Val, and welcome. Good evening. So good to see you here. And today is actually our child's 32nd birthday. Oh, Lord, we're getting old. But yes, it's.
How does that happen? I'm 33.
That's true. I don't know. I thought you were 39.
Whatever. I was 39 last year too.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So I'm 3 years younger. So I'm like 36. I'll take it. So we have a really wonderful guest tonight, and I'm just really, really, really happy.
Yeah, not only is she an amazing lady, she's an amazing friend. So
She is.
Without further delay, join us tonight with regressionist, medium, and Vodcast creator of the Voices of Contact, Mary Bassett. Mary Bassett, aka Mama Mary, is a professional channeler and psychic medium. She is also a professional hypnosis regressionist that works with ET experiencers, as well as working with MUFON with hypnosis regression therapy. She has been reading professionally for over 10 years and travels all over to many psychic fairs, special paracon events, speaking events, and home parties, doing gallery readings, speaking, and giving channeled psychic readings. She has a direct connect with spiritual energies, entities, loved ones, and interdimensional beings within the spiritual realms. She connects through channeling and automatic writing. She's been doing regression work for around 3 years now and has done close to 500 regressions. She has studied the quantum healing method of regression, as well as she has studied with regressionist Yvonne Smith. She dedicates her time in assisting others on their path of self-discovery, their path of healing, and their spiritual journey through channeled mediumship readings, energy work, and hypnosis regressions. She dedicates her time in guiding others into deeper understanding and knowledge of their spiritual journey and purpose so that they may see their true light. The Voices of Contact was created from a download that Mary got while driving. She followed instructions and her own instincts and developed a podcast that is very unique. During the show, Mary plays parts of regressions that she has done for all of us to hear. The panel is all experiencers who work in the field of ufology, which is made up of Deb Cobble, Deb and Arjay DeRoos, yours truly's, and Dana Stricker. Then gives feedback about the regression. The Voices of Contact airs every Friday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and Mystical Awakenings Vodcast. Please welcome Mary Bassett. Mama Mary.
Hi, you guys. How are you?
Hi, Mary.
Good. Good to see you.
So good to see you. Yeah, I was thinking, earlier, a few days back. Guys, it's been like a year since we've had you on. That's too long.
Yeah.
I mean, we do shows together weekly, but, we haven't done this one. So.
I think we've just gotten too used to seeing each other's faces.
Right.
Well, we're all very busy people, and we're very dedicated to the show, which we love.
And the work that we do.
Yeah.
And we love that we share that passion with you.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
And of course, you're always good. You do a lot more shows than we do. You do a lot more fairs and events, and because we kind of slowed down due to our age.
As you get older, you slow down on that stuff a little bit, but we still have the passion and the, the push to get the word out and all of that. So,
That's right.
We talked in the introduction about how you got the download for the show and how that, I didn't put in there how that all came to be. But do you remember that day?
Well, yeah. So I'm driving in my car on the way to work. And I remember I was on M37 and I was passing by Cotance and Hastings, which is like one of the fall markets where you go get the donuts and the pumpkins and all things like that. Suddenly it just like hit me that because I felt for a long time that I should be doing something more with the regressions, like all the information that's coming through with these regressions. There has to be a way to get the message out there that's more not necessarily believable, but more impactful than just coming from my voice, because I'm experiencing it with the experiencer, right? And so I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and it just hit me that I need to find a way to do a show with the regression work to get the messages out there. And then all of a sudden, like, your faces popped up and Bill Konkolewski's, Michael Carter's, and it just like instantly when I got to work, and you guys probably hated me because at that time I was going to work at 5 o'clock and I don't wait for anything because I'm very out there. So I was just hitting up everybody. Just, what do you guys think about this? Are you willing to do it? What do you think?
Yeah. I was up. I'm always up at 5 o'clock. So anytime you want to pop in, go ahead.
I'm not, but I see it when I get up.
That's all right. But no, and it just kind of took off from there. I think always the first episode is always going to be my favorite, I think. And if anybody watches the show, they're going to remember that it was a woman who regressed back to being a young girl, and she was at her family's farm, her grandparents' farm, and she was exploring the farm with her cousin. And when she went to the backfield, there was a craft there, and that's all she ever really actually remembered from her actual experience. Right. And I will never forget, like, my two favorite parts was through the regression. She's like, there's a door there. I didn't remember that there was a door. And then like, tapping into the subconscious, because they were talking about in that regression how, you know, the ET was taking skin samples to for the DNA to create, you know, more souls. And then she, like, the whole subconscious asked the most important question. Well, if they're creating all these bodies, where are they getting all the souls from? Like, that's how it's special. It's so impactful because from a spiritual standpoint, because I think there's a big draw between what we're exploring UFO wise and a spiritual connection. You know, there's that consciousness level, and that's exactly what it is our souls come from consciousness. It's, you know, it's infinite.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
There's that.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. And I don't know if it's because it was the first episode, but it's or that it was so impactful, but it's definitely my favorite episode of all times. And I hold her so close in my heart. And she's actually writing a book, and I can't be happier.
She is.
I'm so excited.
It's about time, you know, a lifelong experiencer with all the information she has to share. You can only imagine. And doing other regressions with her, it's not the same type of experience over and over again. Every experience is a little bit different. And from what I've discovered, especially working with the people over and over again, it's unveiling a piece of their story every time they do a regression, right? So they get this little piece that opens it up just a little bit, and the next time they get just a little bit more after they process the first part, and then it takes them to a whole nother level. So it's a spiritual journey.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Just in a different way.
Yeah.
No, I remember when we started out, how many episodes ago? 70?
We are on like 75.
75.
75.
And
that's a lot.
Wow.
And, you know, like you said, we had Michael Carter and Bill Konkolewski, the director of MUFON in Michigan. And then we got Deb Cobble, who was the main character in Bud Hopkins' book, The Intruders. And then now we have Dana Stricker, who brings a very different light to the show.
All of her faces.
Yeah, well, her faces. But, you know, she's had her experiences too. And it's kind of nice that we've got a little different takes on things. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think what some people don't realize with Dana, and it's like our first episode, they're both generational experiencers. It's something that is in the family.
Yeah.
So, Dana takes care of her mom now, but her mom is still, again, I think, having experiences.
And her father was interested in it too. Yeah.
And her stories are kind of cute because he wouldn't really talk about it, but he did, but he didn't.
Because he was in the military.
Yeah. So, So it's amazing the amount of information that you get that you're not, not everybody says, oh yeah, go ahead and air it.
That's true.
It's
all up to them.
Is it difficult for you to get some of this information and not be able to share it?
It's no, because really the whole point, the original reason I started doing regression work was just to help people. So if they don't want to share it, that's up to them.
Right.
There's more people apt than not to actually want to share it, because I feel like they have the same dedication. Because look, a lot of these people have gone years, some of them 20 or 30 years, holding on to information that they weren't sure of. And so when they're finally coming to me, they're at a point where they want to have the information and the full truth about their experience. And once they get to that experience, they want to share it with everybody else, because they don't want other people to go through the 20 to 30 years unknown. There's been a few who don't want to share it, and that's perfectly fine. There's been a few who come and they end up only wanting to do a past life regression, and that's fine, because really at the beginning of the day, like, I'm there to help heal, right? Walk them through the process. And it's not me healing them, it's them healing themselves. But it's to just hold the space for them, to allow them to find their own answers.
Speaking of that, now we had a case, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody wanted a past life regression. It ended up being an ET experience, right?
Yeah.
That's happened probably at least 3 times. It doesn't happen all the time,
Right.
but yeah. So, it was a past life thing, and then ended up tapping into the subconscious, and then I caught on pretty quick that I wasn't talking to the subconscious. And it was funny because, I think at not last year's UFO con, but the year before, you had somebody there that was channeling the unknowns, right? And that's the first thing that hit my head, because it's kind of just like what it sounded like to me. And so I asked, and I said, am I speaking to the unknowns? And they said, we know not what you are speaking of. I'm like, okay, so it's not the unknowns, but it was worth a shot. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, and I think with that group, the unknowns might be the name they have for them.
Yeah.
And that could be. That's true.
Because we don't hear of that from anybody else that's being regressed or any other groups talking about it.
Now, Rebecca, she's asking to talk about the drones. Now, the last show we had last week, we had a specific show on that. If you want to go back and listen to that, where the producer, Bill, and I were talking about drones. So
yeah,
we might not get too much into tonight, but anyway, there's a lot going on for sure.
There certainly is. And, I don't think anybody, Rebecca, has a real set answer on that. I think there's many, many theories out there. I know I have mine.
Everybody has theirs.
Do I think, and I'm just going to put this out there, and then I'd like to hear Mary's opinion. I don't think that we are in danger of ETs or off-planet beings.
Huh.
I think we're more in danger of our own, if there is a danger here. Okay. But as far as, alien invasions, I've been getting a lot of messages about that. Are we being invaded? Are we safe? Are the ETs going to eat us? Just things like that. So I think we're safe from them. I don't believe that the ones that do have that kind of contact with us mean us any harm at all. I think they're trying to help us advance on a spiritual and a physical level. So that's my take.
Yeah, just stay tuned. We're gonna just take everything with a grain of salt, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Do you have a take on that, Mary?
I do. I have two theories. So we'll talk about the first theory. And we talked about it on Voices of Contact just a couple of weeks ago about like fear mongering, right? Let's put information out there to freak people out so that it lowers the vibration instead of just going with the flow and see what actually happens. Because the more fear you have, the more it's going to bring down that love vibration. Then everybody gets to control you. That's my first theory. But I also go back to, and I've told the story before. So like back in 2019, this is where I really got into, I've always been interested in the alien subject and UFOlogy and all of that. But in 2019, that was my first experience. And it was more of a vision than anything else. And all of a sudden I found myself on a craft and there was a gray there. And she was holding a walking stick. And she told me, I'm going to take this one. Because at the time, my husband made walking sticks. But it was broken. And I started pulling out of the vision. And it bothered me that she wanted a broken stick. So I went back into the vision and I said, well, why would you want that stick? It's broken. She goes, everything that feels broken not necessarily is. And then all of a sudden she gave me a download of timelines. She told me, something's coming and it's coming quick. And I said, okay. I said, just protect my family and my community. She goes, we will. Right. So that was right before COVID hit. Didn't recognize it until what she meant until COVID hit. Then she showed me the timeline that in 2024, there was going to be a lot of UFO sightings and a lot of things that came out where it was going to make it look and people think that it was UFOs. Right. And then the government was going to save us and try to protect us because they're the ones to protect us. But she says, not the truth that ET is out there and it's not what it looks like. And then she gave me more timelines, 2027, 2029. 2029 is not necessarily a time where we have to worry about bad things. It's just going to be a lot of shaking up of things.
Right.
And so that's my theory, right? Because you can't make that up for myself when this is what she showed me how many years ago. And remember the dreams I had that we've talked about at, Michigan Paracon and UFOcon, right? And we're seeing all these hundreds of things in the sky. And the whole point of the last couple of months of getting that message out was not to worry.
Right.
So that's my theory. I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not going to feed into what it is and what it isn't. I'm just going to see what happens because I think everything you hear on the news is just a bunch of malarkey trying to get people's fears to bring down the vibration.
Natalie, I kind of agree with you. We were talking about that before the show, believe it or not, just a little while ago about a prequel to Prophecy. To see our reactions, that could be too. So, to get us ready for what's really going to happen. So,
exactly it.
Right. Yeah, and the whole Project Bluebeam has been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
So,
don't
freak out.
No.
Just stay in a higher vibrating place of love. Don't let it, like Mary said, the whole fear mongering thing. It causes fear. It's lowering your vibration. And that's kind of where some want us to be, is in that lower fearful state. And
you want to watch out for things that bring fear, and that if they say they got to change laws to take care of this, like you said, Mary, that's what you want. You look out for that crap. Then it's not real.
Right. And Mary, we've had so many private conversations about some of your dreams and the visions that you get and things like that. I have 1,000% faith in you and what you receive. I know you're not a bullshitter. You're not one of those that you're going to put things out just for the glory or to
No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't want to look stupid afterwards.
Right. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it's really important that people hear from people who are real and not putting BS out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to you, Mary. You do so many different things. We've seen you speak at other events. We've had you speak at
And we spoke together.
Yeah, and we spoke together. And I mean, I totally admire how you are so get the word out there, be open with people. The whole show, I mean, that's, how I feel about that. It's for the people. It's to help with exactly what's going on right now. Let's eliminate that fear. Let's get truth out there. But you're still human.
That's
Does
right.
this ever take a toll
That's
on
debatable.
you? Because you're a starseed. You know this. But still in a human body. Does it take a toll on you sometimes
Heck
where
yeah,
you just
it does.
want to hide?
Not so much hide. Well, I guess maybe sometimes hide. I'd like to sleep.
You don't sleep. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'll tell our audience, you don't sleep much. I don't know how you do it. But
This is the down season. So for the last couple of weekends, I have actually enjoyed just sitting in my chair all day and watching TV and taking a nap when I want to.
oh, nice.
Wow.
But it's important work.
Yeah.
And I think, when you sign up to be a light worker and the healer and all of that, it's really is to help people and know that you're making an impact, even if it's in your normal everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be, metaphysical. It's still spiritual, regardless of where you're at, right?
Yeah.
So whether
Right.
you're at work or you're at the grocery store or, taking your kids to school, it's very energetic and it's very exhausting. And sometimes I would just like sleep, and then sometimes I do shut down. I think we've all been there where we shut down Facebook and everything else and just not look at our phones.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
because you need that downtime. I mean, you guys have to have it too, right?
Right.
You're asking me that question because you experienced it yourself, or you're like, yeah, I'm just
Right.
done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, getting back to some of the things about the show, what's interesting about the show is a couple of things I want to talk about. We've noticed after doing 70 some shows that even though these people don't know each other, that you are regressing, we find similar experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And which is, to me, is kind of a check mark to say, hey, there's something here. There's something going on. And so that's very cool. And I also want to mention that when we do our shows, we get some interference from some things or somebody. We get Morse code. We get voices coming in. So that's very interesting. I'm sure someone's listening to us, what we're doing, because it's a very different show. It's a show that nobody else is doing that I know of.
I haven't heard of anything. No,
and it's very impactful because you're getting firsthand information from experiencers.
Yeah. And it is crazy, some of the things that happen.
Well, part of it too, you get the Morse code, and then there's times where you get the voices coming over through the regression, which it's fascinating because it just shows that while I was doing the regression, there was something there.
Exactly.
Right. And I've experienced where I can always tell when I have ET coming through on a regression, because I get cold, and it's not just cold, but my whole body will shake.
Right.
So it's not just like feeling the impression of cold air. It's the whole body shivers, and it not necessarily me being cold. I can always tell when something thicker is coming through.
Yeah, I think that may be, in my opinion, that something is drawing energy in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Because like when you do ghost hunts, it gets cold because I think these spirits, it takes a lot of energy to draw in for them to communicate and taking the heat and everything else. So it may be the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can definitely hear it in some of the voices and some of these regressions when you hit the subconscious and it's an ET being. The whole voice is so different. And I don't know. There's so many different little cues that this is somebody else speaking here.
Yep, you can definitely tell because it shifts, and I think and I've told you guys this story before. I think my most favorite experience was so I remember having another experience where all of a sudden there was a craft that was landing in my front yard, and then an ET walked up to me, and I was super excited because I thought he was going to take me. He didn't, but
That you know of.
and in my head he said, "It's time for you to remember why you came here." And then he stopped and he pointed out, towards the constellation. The next day I looked at the constellation and that was Orion. So during one of my regressions, I had tapped into the subconscious. And one of her biggest questions was why she always felt so alone here. And at this point in the regression, Palladians were coming through because that was the answer when I asked, "Where are you from?" And I said, well, another question she had was, why does she feel so alone here? And they're like, well, she's not from here. And I said, well, where is she from? And then there was a long silence, and she literally turned her head towards me and opened up her eyes and said, the same place you're from. And I was like, huh, okay, I'm game, because I hadn't told anybody about my experience. I had kept it to myself. And I said,
Right.
okay, where am I from? And there was a long silence, and all of a sudden she said Orion. And I was like, holy crap. So that's that one kind of freaked me out a little bit, but it's still super cool because that's real validation.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I said, the show's so different. We don't know what to expect from one week to another, and I like that. And like you said, we're getting as we're doing the show, we're learning too.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody else learning, and like you said, it's a win-win situation because it helps the person who's got regressed too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what this is all about, is all of us learning together. And that's the beauty of the show, is getting that. Yeah, I put that up there. Hi, Brendan. We're all learning, and the timing is, I don't think the timing was up to us at all.
Yeah, no, but it's just kind of, then it fell into place.
Right.
But it's an important message. There's been too many people out there who have held on to this information to themselves and suffered through it too long by themselves, where once they start hearing other people who are brave enough to share the regression, that they're not the only ones.
Yeah, I was just going to get to this.
Hi, Curtis.
That,
good to see you here.
You can tell us, how do they contact you?
They can send me an email to mamamaryregressions@hotmail.com, or they can contact me through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know, Curtis, we're friends. Are you friends with Curtis on Facebook?
I don't know, but I will look. He can find me too. Let's see. We'll look it up real quick. I'm friends with lots of different people.
Mm-hmm.
I myself have had a regression.
Doesn't look like it, but I'll find them.
And it was here at the Mystical Awakening store. It was very, very cool, very eye-opening, and answered a lot of questions for me. I still have a lot to go, but and we'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point. But do you go to their places, or they come to you, or how does that work?
They typically come to me. I have traveled a couple of times, but I don't do it very often.
Right.
And I will do Zoom. I prefer to do in person, but if I have people who are traveling more than 3 hours, I've done a couple of people out of Canada. I just did one a couple of weeks ago with a gentleman from Canada. But I've had people. This one actually blew my mind. I believe it was either from Texas or Oklahoma. She flew out to me.
Wow.
Because she
Oh, cool.
like, we could have done a Zoom. She's like, oh, I like going places. I'm like, okay. But she was actually like, I'm trying to remember, because it was a year and a half ago. I think she was what would you call it? An astrophysicist, a physicist or a scientist? Like she worked with NASA.
Right.
Type stuff.
Wow.
Like that blew my mind. I'm like,
That's
you are so much
impressive.
smarter than me. Why are you sitting here?
I love it. I love it. Well, people need to know too, you do work full time.
I do.
You have a whole different day job and a very, you have a
busy
lot of
job,
responsibilities.
Yeah.
So the regressions, the channeling, the mediumship, that is all your
All
spare
the
time.
weekends. Yep. All on
Yeah.
the weekends between
Right.
basketball, baseball, and special basketball and
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
else that comes along with it. But that's the life of a mom, right? That's kind of
Yep.
like what we do. So
It is. It is.
Yeah, you're
I
incredibly
would get
busy
too
woman.
bored if I wasn't busy.
But I think there might be people that think, oh, this is what she does. But it's not all that you do.
No.
You're a very, 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 very busy woman.
I am. And that's why I'm lazy when I can be.
Right.
Possible.
Well, you deserve it. So,
Yeah, you're
I'm
not
a very
lazy off.
lazy, busy person.
right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube,
Mhm.
and we're on Facebook still.
Well, Voices of Contact, because of, we do the videos and all that. Facebook just keeps kicking us off.
Yeah,
So no, we mainly are on YouTube. On Mystical
we're exploring
Awakenings
other
Vodcast.
avenues.
We are working on. We are working on getting
Yep.
the show in more places. Just because it's so important for experiencers out there to hear these shows and see these shows and go,
Yep, especially now.
wow, yeah,
Yeah.
If the audience has any ideas, there's a lot of people out there. Maybe if they have any good ideas too, or where they'd like to see us,
mm-hmm.
they know
Exactly.
people really search. Let us know.
Because I think a big part of this disclosure is experiencers, and everybody gets a chance to listen to people's experiences and why they're under hypnosis.
Oh yeah, experiencers are disclosure.
Yes, they are.
They really are.
It's all about
Leah's saying that she couldn't get on through Facebook. Now on Facebook, Lee, I just post the YouTube link. So you should be able to, if you can get YouTube.
Yeah, and if you just now are joining us, you can go back and see all kinds of shows that we did. And like I said, we had Michael Carter on there for 50 some shows.
Mm-hmm. And he will still be on.
Yeah,
as
he's
a
still be
guest
on once
here
in a while,
and
and he's a very busy person. So, and then Bill Konkolinski back on the day, and they're starting out. So it's you can go back and check it out and see what it's all about.
You guys need a TV show. Let's fix us up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we would
Get
love
on
that.
it, Sylvia.
We just know a lot of people need this. It needs to be out there so it's, accessible to everybody.
Now, I want to tell our audience, which I always tell the new people especially, we do cut it up. I mean, we have a sense of humor. Even though it's a very serious topic, we like to sometimes keep it light, and we do kid around with each other and bring a little comedy to the show, but we're very serious about what we do. I just want everybody to understand that. So,
You gotta have fun sometime.
Yeah, gotta have fun.
Right. And sometimes some of these regressions are so emotional.
Intense.
And with all of us being experiencers and have gone through some, it's not all butterflies and unicorns. Sometimes these experiences can really mess with you. And for myself, I can say, I had that up. I can say that it's traumatic. it does mess with you. It causes PTSD and other issues. You have trouble sleeping, you have trouble with a lot of things. So, if we can make light of things, sometimes we do. And, sometimes people get upset. But
Curtis, thanks for that. We appreciate you too.
yeah, we appreciate you too. And we're really glad that you found us. Yeah. And we're now Facebook friends. I like that. Another thing that I think is important on the show, Mary, and I'd like your input on this, is the fact that you are very open about and tell us, feel free to talk about the spiritual side of this.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all connected, right? I think I don't think ET comes from some foreign land. It comes from consciousness, just like we all do, and it just packs right into that conversation that we're all connected. It's just a different source. It's a different vibration, and it's like they're just at a higher vibration than us. Maybe not all of them, right? I think the ones that we connect with the most are the ones who are trying to raise us in consciousness. And it's all about that spiritual journey. Right. Every time, and I said it earlier, when we go through a regression, we raise to another level. Just like anytime through life, anytime we've gone through a tough lesson, we raise to another level. Anytime we face a fear or face a concept or face a pain or an emotion, we go to a different level. Regression work and contact with ET is no different. It's all there to teach us something about ourselves. And, everybody, when they get into their spiritual journey, you hear that cliche statement that it's all about getting back to where you came from. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah. And when
maybe where you came from is what you think.
We have to realize when we raise our levels, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're smarter. It means that if we see things in a different light and vibrate in a different way, things will be easier for us to evolve.
That's exactly it. Right. Anybody ever notice that when you tap into your soul's purpose and you start living the life that you're meant to, you might still have some struggles and challenges and stress, but everything just flows and naturally falls into place for you, and it just kind of unravels. You're not pushing against the wall anymore. You're going with the flow of what the universe had intended for you. We're from the universe, so is ET. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like on this level, this third dimensional level, it's all about, it's a duality, light, dark, good, bad. Mm-hmm. But when you raise your vibrations, you don't have to think about what's good or bad. You just know. Mm-hmm. You know what's good, and you just do the good,
Because it feels right.
Yeah, because it feels right. It's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as we're evolving and getting out of that whole third dimension, it's easier and easier as we learn the lessons and experience to be on that different plane.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. And I want to thank Lee and all of these people, for Sylvia, everybody, for making these wonderful comments. You guys are amazing.
Dana's in the house.
And Dana is in the house.
Here's Dana.
I make light of things. I have to, or I'd be nuts. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. And Dana is so unique and makes the show really fun.
She does.
There's serious, she has, very educated answers, but she makes the show fun. So we're blessed to have
as long as we don't bring up the mantids.
That's right. No mantis speech.
Yeah. And now we're trying to find out who sent her one.
Oh, I saw that earlier. Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
Poor Dana. So,
hi, Marie.
Yeah.
It's too bad we don't have a picture of it. Wasn't it a little doll that got sent to her?
Yeah, it's a little doll. Arjay did make the point. It's not a mantis, but it is.
It's an alien creature from the movies, but it's kind of insecty,
Yeah.
It's gonna be
did it?
boy.
Gotta love Val. So true. So, are you keeping really busy this time of year? Are you doing a lot of readings and regressions and stuff like that, or does that slow down a little bit too?
December slows down a little bit. November was extremely busy. It was sometimes 2 or 3 regressions a day among readings. December's been slow, which I'm thankful for because everybody needs a rest. They need some downtime.
It's a busy month.
I think already the first 2 weekends in January, I booked up mostly with readings, but which is good because I'll be ready to get back into it.
Right.
Because I do miss it. I can always tell. You don't necessarily tell how much you miss it when you have your downtime and you've been waiting for it. But then when you have that first regression after it's been a month and you feel that exhilaration, you know what I'm talking about, Deb. And RJ has to too. When you get back in, you tap into the spiritual realms and you know, you tapped into somebody's energy and you know you've made a difference. Like the rest of the day, it's like a natural high.
Yeah,
it really is. It just lifts you up. And so,
well, you know, you can be so busy that you're not tapping into what the universe is telling you. So it's time to you gotta pace yourself so you can sit back and think, get the downloads again, and then
So I love it
for sure.
Yeah,
I give you a lot of credit. When I was your age, I could probably do half of what you're doing, but all the time I'm saying, how in the heck is she keeping up?
Yeah, for sure.
But you do it. You do it beautifully. So,
thank you.
I think that, we all need to celebrate that Mary is here on this planet with us because we're blessed.
Yeah, we're very blessed to be part of it. So,
yeah. And if anyone has questions,
do it with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would not miss it for a thing.
We are honored. We love doing the show. Absolutely.
I love you.
If anyone has questions for Mary, feel free to ask. We have a few more minutes. I had a hard time seeing. I think about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
So if they want readings from you, it's the same thing. They can email you or hit you up on Facebook. If you're friends with me and not with Mary, hit me up and I'll give you the info.
There you go. And Deb's you're more than welcome to give out my phone number if someone contacts you.
Yeah.
So,
and also we are going to take a break, I think, for the holidays a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of reruns on there just to let anybody know. But I mean, and then we're going to get right back at it at the first of the year. So after the first year.
Yeah. I think this week is a live one, isn't it? Or is it a rerun?
This one will be a rerun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking the holidays caught up with us. And it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Right,
but it'll give us time to regroup and
Okay.
Yeah.
some good
Sounds
stuff out.
good.
Yeah.
So if you guys missed the beginning of the show, you can find the Voices of Contact with Mary leading it and playing regressions, parts of regressions that the rest of us speak on. It's on every Friday night at 8 p.m. on Mystical Awakenings Vodcast. So tune in, subscribe, like so you get notifications. Isn't there something else? They hit the bell?
Yes.
I'm not real good with all this, but I'm learning.
If you hit the bell, what it does is every time it's getting ready to come up, it'll notify them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of like a doorbell.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
So hit the bell, subscribe, and hit the bell.
just like I've hit the bell on your guys' show. So if I'm still
Nice.
awake, I try to get on.
Right. So are you staying home for Christmas? Are you doing something special?
Christmas Eve, we're gonna do Denny's family at home, and then we'll go to my mom's house on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is just 10 minutes away, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's really good. So does the whole family go to your mom's?
Well, my brother and sister-in-law typically yes, but they have a new grandbaby, so I have a new great niece.
Aw,
So they'll be
congrats.
going out there to visit, which, I would too. And I don't know if my sister and her husband's
Hi,
going to be
darling.
there, but me and the kids will be there. So
Yay.
the fun
Nice.
people will be there. I'm just kidding. But I'm not fun. I'm pretty boring. Unless you give me some wine, then I might get entertaining. Depends.
Well, yeah. I was saying hi to Darlene. She popped on. She's not on too many shows. I know she's really busy too. And I, for some reason, lost the name of her store.
Oh, the Witch's Brew?
Yeah,
The
which
Witch's
is true.
Yeah, Darlene? You said Darlene.
Yes.
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 So,
So I've been dying to get there, and
I'm
every time
psychic.
I'm south, I don't get there. But
it's a
people do
great
get
store. Like,
Yeah, I
literally,
love it. Yeah,
You
I love it.
I guess I don't have like an artistic brain, but when you walk into that store, it's so well put together. They did
Nice.
so well setting it up. Like, it makes you want to buy things. Like,
Well, they're
aesthetic-
both very artistic.
Mhm.
yeah, they have it set up very professionally.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
store.
it was meant to be.
Mhm.
It's really meant to be. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, you're not artistic in that way because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and a
That's
whole
true.
different thing. So, yeah, I mean, if we all did the same things, it'd be kind of boring, wouldn't
And
it?
if you ever come to my house, don't judge because it is not well decorated. It's just a house.
Well, my house is a home and it's well lived in.
That's about it.
But it's nothing like the store, trust me. Is it?
No. Yeah. Val is saying another road trip. Let's go.
Mhm.
For sure. So, do you have anything lined up for the new year? Any speaking stuff going on yet? Other than we know you'll be a Michigan UFO contact.
Yes. No speaking as of yet. Just a couple of shows in January. March will be potographs, and then in April, I can't remember the one show, but at the end of the month it'll be Exie Smith's and Candace's psychic fair. At the end of April, I think that's April 26th. That's in Oxford. May will be the Paracon in Ohio at the Ohio State Reformatory. At the
Right.
beginning of May, Brian Danhausen and I are going to be in New York at the Hinsdale House. We're going to create an event there and do like a seance and an investigation. In June, I'll have the Hippie Fest. So, yeah, I guess I do already have a lot of stuff
I
planned
was
out.
going to say, you don't have anything planned.
Well, we're hoping we're going to have the Truth Seekers retreat too. I hope we can make it there, but
Yeah, that's the end of May.
The end
We
of May.
also, with Andrea, have an event, I believe it's the last weekend in April. So might have to figure something out with that.
It fills up
Sounds
fast,
like it's-
doesn't it?
Yeah. And for people that don't know, Mary will be at Michigan UFO Contact again this year. And
Yay.
that will be the last weekend of September. We ended up having to move it this time. So usually it's, third weekend,
yeah.
but this year it's the fourth. So come and, maybe you'll do a regression. Maybe who knows what you might do, but you'll be
We'll keep
there.
it interesting.
a song and dance anyway.
Right.
Well, maybe.
Uh-oh. Okay, just get our 5-minute
minute.
warning a minute ago. Okay.
A minute.
All right, Bill. See how he is.
Is
So
Crackle
what's
in?
your favorite part of doing the Voices of Contact, Mary? What do you love most about it?
Well, I always look forward to getting on with you guys. What I really love is it's not so much the show, but the idea. Okay, so real quick, this is what I really love. So working with a gentleman, and he's like, "You're not taking me deep enough. I know I'm not going deep enough." And I said, "You are." trust me, you have to have faith in the process. And so when I put him on the show, right, and played his regression, like 10 minutes later, he messaged me right after the show. He goes, I don't remember any of that. I said,
Right.
you did the recording. I said, I told you you were going deep enough. That's my favorite part of the show, is people taking the time to listen back to their own regression and getting the feedback from the people and realize, wow, I don't remember saying a word of that. And now I got new pieces of information, and it's going to open up everything else.
Right.
That's my favorite part of the show.
So that makes sense. So there's people who you give them the recording of their regression, but they're not going to listen to it.
Nope.
But they will tune into the show. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that's
and then I was like,
one
in
good
your
way.
face. Follow.
Say, see, you did go deep enough.
Well, listen,
Yep.
I want to thank you so much for coming on with us tonight,
Yeah.
and
Thank
for doing what you do and allowing us to be a part of it. And we'll try not to make it a year next time to have her back on the show.
Right. Right. We need to set a calendar thing every 3 months, period.
There you go.
Have Mary on. Although, summertime, it gets so busy and it goes so fast.
It
Yeah, all
does.
of a
It goes
sudden.
by before you know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's usually about this time of year when it hits me that, oh, I should have done this year and I should be doing this right now. And missed all kinds of things. But
To-do list.
yeah, to-do list. Yeah, and we wish everybody happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate. Just stay safe, be happy. Mary, you have a wonderful Christmas, holiday, whatever for you guys.
And we'll see you right after the holidays.
Yay! We will. We will. So everybody be in contact. Have a fantastic week. And until we meet again, may all of your awakenings be mystical. Good night, everybody. We love you.